Hi everyone, and welcome to Dave's Brick House. Have you been wanting to visit Jurassic Park, but worried about what might happen if some of the dinosaurs got loose? If so, I've got you covered. A number of people in the area where I live, mostly from Portland, but also at least one from Washington, have been doing a Jurassic Park collab for the last couple of years. It's been displayed once at BrickCan and twice at Bricks Cascade. Beyond the Brick did videos on all of those, and I put links to the most recent one in the description. It's getting bigger all the time, and it's really impressive. I highly encourage you to check out the BTP video. I've always been a fan of the Jurassic Park movies, and I'd helped to do just a bit of building on the first display at Bricks Cascade 2019. It was my very first convention, and I was somehow drawn to the Jurassic Park area. So last year, I decided it would be fun to see if I could join in on the collab. One day last summer, as I went to the LEGO store to wait in line for some new releases, I ran into James Ritzman, who's one of the participants in the collab, and as it turns out, he's also the creator of the Brickport of Brickport collab, where I displayed my two houseboat MOCs. I was talking to James about my interest in participating in the collab, but mentioned that I didn't have any ideas of what to build. James suggested I look at the Jurassic World Evolution video game. This was great advice, and I found a number of excellent ideas there, including one or two that are on the list for possible future MOCs. I'm not a gamer, but I found lots of good information on the internet about various buildings in the game. The first one that caught my attention was an emergency shelter. After deciding I wanted to try building it, I talked with a friend who is a gamer and had the game. He spent some time grabbing screenshots from various angles to use for reference, and this was extremely helpful. Armed with those screenshots, I got to work in Bricklink Studio. This was a very fun and challenging MOC to design, as there were lots of different shapes, angles, and features that I had to figure out how to create in LEGO. I spent a couple of weeks going back and forth between design and research until I had something I was happy with. The end result is around 1,600 pieces, not including the foliage. There are likely 400 plus pieces that make up the foliage, especially when you consider that the bigger tree alone has 72 leaf pieces, plus the trunk. I don't have exact piece count for the foliage because it's a pain to model in studio, so I don't do it. But since foliage is such an important part of the Jurassic Park feel, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of it in this MOC. So let's take a closer look at some of the features. We'll start with the main entry. It was fun modeling the tiered walls, and there are some other really neat details like the keypads and speakers on both sides of the doors, the vents above, and the overall unique layout. Continuing around the front, we have an air handler hanging on the wall. On the right side, we have some giant power panels. I don't know if that's what these were in the original design, but that's what they are in my build. There's also a maintenance entrance. On the left side and right rear side, we have these things. I have no idea what they're supposed to be, but they looked cool and were definitely a challenge to model. I believe this is the first MOC where I used 1x2 hinge bricks, and it was great to get some experience with those. In the back, we have the main HVAC units for the shelter. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of foliage all around the MOC. There's also this fun billboard. It came about as a result of some other MOCs I did for the collab, but that's a story for a future video. The roof has all kinds of different shapes and features, and was by far my favorite part of the MOC to design. Getting the slightly offset tiers of the roof took a bit of trial and error and ended up involving lots of 2x2 jumper plates. After I finished the MOC, I posted a photo of it in a Facebook group for the collab. James really liked it and suggested maybe I could build a couple more to dot around the park. I told him I had the same idea, and so I built two more. So there you have it, my Jurassic Park emergency shelters. Now, when you're planning the family vacation, you can breathe a sigh of relief as you'll have one less thing to worry about in the event of an unfortunate, or should I say inevitable, dinosaur breakout. One other thing before I wrap up this video. If there's enough interest, I'm thinking it would be fun to do a Q&A video. So if you have questions for me, leave them in the comments and I'll plan to answer them in a future video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the bell icon to get notifications of new videos. Thanks for watching, and go build something that makes you smile.